Axiom Verge is a Metroidvania-style action platformer. The entire game, from the music to the coding to the level design, was made by one person named Thomas Happ. What makes Axiom Verge stand out is how good it is at teaching the game's mechanics without the player knowing that he's being taught. Axiom Verge has no tutorial in the traditional sense, which is really how more games' tutorials should be. It teaches everything through the gameplay. The subtle tutorial starts right from the beginning. As soon as you take control of your character, he is in the center of the screen, which is different from many other platformers. The majority of platformers only involve moving from left to right 90% of the time. If you look at the beginning of games like Mario or Mega Man, you start at the far left of the screen facing right. It leaves no space on the left and a huge amount of empty space on the right to indicate that you are supposed to be walking to the right. Axiom Verge starts you off in the middle of the screen, which immediately plants the idea in your head that this game could involve going either direction, which it does. It's not really clear which way to go from the start, but most people would probably walk to the right since that's what we've been conditioned to do. If you try to go through the door on the right, you immediately hit a wall of these red bubbles that block your way. This does two things. First, it cements the idea that you often have to go left in this game. Second, it makes you start wondering how to get through those bubbles in the back of your mind, because as of right now, you have no way of doing so. So you go left through the door, and you immediately see those bubbles again, and you continue wondering what to do with those. This room has a few platforms that teach you how to jump. It lets you mess around with your jumping and see how far you can jump in a controlled environment without any enemies. Once you make it past the platforms, you reach your very first weapon, the Axiom Disruptor, which is a pretty basic plasma rifle type gun. It tells you how to fire it, which is pretty much the only form of obvious tutorial in this game, and it's not even really a tutorial because every weapon tells you how to use them. So you start walking back to the right, but you can't jump back up to the platform you fell from. So naturally, you fire your new gun and learn that your gun can pop the bubbles you keep seeing. This creates a realization moment for the player. It's very satisfying, and it's one of the ways it tries to hook you on the game early on. However, just popping the first one you shoot at isn't enough, as you can't walk forward without popping the one below it. This teaches you to duck and shoot at the same time, again with no tutorial and again in an area with no danger to the player. In order to continue to the right, you have to pass back through the area where you started, and this teaches you that backtracking is a central part of this game. So you go through the door on the right, and you find the first enemy. You can safely observe it from a distance on the left platform. This serves as an introduction, or a tutorial, to these enemies. You can see the way they move and how fast they are from a distance. It also shows that some enemies require ducking and shooting to hit them. The next enemy shows that they can also crawl around those red bubbles, again letting you observe it safely and learn about it. You're in no danger, so it's not frustrating, and none of this seems like a tutorial. After that enemy is a huge pillar. You have to jump to get up to it, and you already know to shoot the bubbles, so this teaches you to jump and shoot at the same time. In the next room, you can see an enemy crawling above you. This teaches you to aim up and shoot at the same time. It also has platforms leading up, which reinforces your platforming skills with the enemies safely on the side. In the next room, you can see a switch that you currently can't activate above you, which lets you know that you'll get more items or weapons with different abilities in the future, in addition to the gun you already have. All of this is in the first 5 minutes of the game, and none of it feels like a tutorial. This is how tutorials in games should be done. But the teaching doesn't stop there. After it shows you the basics, it teaches a slightly more complicated aspect of the game, caution. Starting in the next room, you occasionally find these alien nests that constantly spit out more aliens. If you aren't careful and rush straight at them, you will usually die or at least take a lot of damage from the enemies it's spitting out. But these nests have some way to take them out from a distance if you're careful, such as a nearby ledge out of range of the enemies. If you take it slowly and think about what you're doing, the game rewards you for it. And it's not just the alien nests. Occasionally you'll find things like swarms of alien bees that don't see you yet. If you charge in recklessly, you'll get mobbed by them and take a lot of damage. But if you take your time and shoot them from standing back a little bit, it's much easier. Axiom Verge teaches the player everything they need to know about the game without needing any kind of pop-up text boxes or a list of controls to memorize. This is how teaching should be, where the player doesn't feel like they've been taught anything at all.